Brandon, firstly, sorry for being late. One of the reasons we are preparing for that star-studded side. And Merry Christmas to all of you as well. Yeah, the nice thing for me is I said to the guys, please look forward to this game. You don't often get the opportunity to play against the Thomas, Eben, Sia, Kulisi, all the guys that Springboks, and that's the only place that you can really measure yourself is when you play against those guys. So for us, we're looking forward to the game. It's going to be a game where we can measure ourselves, see where our shortcomings are, what things are working and not working for us, and also for the players, that opportunity. If you look at a guy like Notis, even Etzebeth, he can measure himself where he's in his career. Great opportunity to play against those players. So we're looking forward to the game. We know it's going to be physical. They've got a great side, and playing down in Durban is not easy, but it's something that we look forward to.
Morgan?
Thanks. Hi, Coach. I just to follow on what Brendan asked there. It's been now, I think last year was the last time that you guys beat the South African side at this level. Is that starting to build a certain degree of pressure on you guys as well? That from a psychological point of view, that you guys are desperate now to beat the South African side?
It's definitely important for us. You're right. I mean, we beat the Stormers down in Cape Town, and after that, we haven't won a game against the South African sides. It's that little bit of mental block. We're playing against our own players. When we play the overseas players, the guys are more freely open and just compete and go for it. And the mental block is there for South African sides, but it's not something that's going to keep us from fighting. We want to be competitive. We want to stay in a race, make sure that the opportunities is there, we take it. Sharks coming up this weekend. It's a good opportunity for us to show what we've prepared for. We know what they're going to bring. They've got a good kicking game. They've got great backs, good forwards. We know the maul's is very important for them. So it's going to be a case for us to get over that mental block, is to start well and to stay in the race as long as possible and hopefully get the win.
Thanks, Morgan. Ross, you can go.
How's it, guys? Thanks, Jenny. So, how's it, Albert? You guys have, since coming back from the international break, 4 games unbeaten, and also an over Stade Francais over the past weekend. Has that build-up also been pretty confident in heading into the Sharks game for the guys? And do you think playing against a different opposition from France has maybe given you guys a bit of a boost and a bit extra going into this Friday's match?
Yeah, we don't want to dwell on the fact that we won the 4 games, or actually, we're at the 1 draw against the Dragons. But based on that, we're not happy with our performance. We managed to beat those teams, and rightly so, we should beat them. Disappointing with the draw against the Dragons, and we know there's things that we have to work on. So if we take it for granted that we're happy with those wins and going into this weekend's game thinking it's just going to happen, it's not going to happen for us. We had work-ons to do, individual work-ons, team work-ons, game plan. So there's a lot of things that we worked on and tried to get it rectified this weekend against the Sharks. So it's going to be a tough one for us. Yes, we take the confidence from not losing, but we can't take the confidence into this game thinking it's going to be an easy game against the Sharks. They're a well coached side now, and they're on a level of that it's going to be hard playing down in Durban.
Thank you, Ross. Carl, you're up next.
Albert, thanks a lot for the opportunity. One of the work-ons even said after the match, last was Friday, Saturday, is discipline. One question, the type of rugby or your game plan that you play, doesn't that require the guys to take more risks? And yeah, maybe everybody's a bit too harsh on them for conceding 1 or 2 extra penalties.
I hear what you're saying, and I don't think it's harsh on the players. The penalties we give away is actually silly penalties. Some of them stuff is not rolling away. It's just that second too long that we're lying there, putting our hands in the ruck when we shouldn't. It's the decision making. So we've got a young team. They are growing. We've got great players in our squad. And it's more a case of as we move forward, these players learn from it and they get better. So the game plan is there, but we have to work within the game plan. We have to operate in a system where everyone understands their role and what's expected from them. So if we get those opportunities to jackal, it's got to be a clear and obvious opportunity because they're so strict on the rules now that if you're off your feet. So we've given away silly penalties, and that has actually put us on a lot of pressure because we tend to give these penalties away more on defense than on attack. And then we give the opposition more opportunities to put us under pressure. So that will come over time, you know, educating the players during the week, sitting with them and discussing the penalties and what happened in that situation is something that we want to create that scenarios and making sure that they learn from it and actually get better in making those decisions.
Thank you, Carl. Emmanuel Tshituka has just joined us. Lloyd, you up next?
Thanks very much, Albert or Emmanuel. I suppose it could be for either of you. But if you could just speak to the unique nature of the week and the fixture, you know, a couple of days before Christmas, has that in any way, if not made it a challenging, you know, preparation week? Just I suppose, you know, it must feel a bit different.
Yeah, I was fortunate to play for 6 years in Japan, and my first year it was quite a surprise that we had captains run on the 25th of December and we played on the 26th, so it was quite an awkward feeling. It's new for us, you know, we started last year and this is our second year we're going into it. The difficult part about it and the challenging side is that the families, you know, your wife and kids, they're on holiday. And the kids don't understand why dad must go to work and train, or why he can't go to the beach with them. So it makes it hard for our players, but it's something that I think the longer we stay in this competition happens, the more accustomed we're going to get to it. It is a mindset change because nothing happens, nothing changed basically from preparing for the games. We still have our training sessions. It's just what do you do in that off time? How much time do you really spend with your family and preparing for the game? So we do try to manage the players, give them extra time off, an extra day off just with the family, because we know it's that transition for us from playing over this December period now that's going to make it difficult for us going forward. But it's something that we keep in mind with the players as well to keep them fresh.
Thanks.
Mon, player perspective?
Yeah, for me, I have a completely different perspective to the coach. This is my complete first time playing over the festive. But yeah, ultimately, I think you know, listen to coaches speak. I think our coach has experience, so you just learn from him. And obviously, you know, it's ultimately it is your job. And you know, the job is the first thing that comes first. So I think for us, it's just coming in and, you know, just keeping the main thing. And yeah, ultimately, I think it's my first time, so I'll just have to see. And obviously, the more seasons that come, I'll just get a lot more accustomed to.
Okay, guys, we'll take 3 more. That'll be Morgan, Ross, and then Carl.
Thanks. Coach, just a few words on JC and also Michael joining the squad and how they're going to get integrate into the team going forward in the next few weeks.
We're talking about JC Pretorius and Michael van Vieren.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so JC is a great add-on for us, you know, being that 6th position. He played brilliantly in the 7s, and I think, you know, a lot of teams talk about a fetcher. JC brings that. It brings a line-out option as well for us, you know, in front of the line-outs, brings a massive work rate that is bringing into the team as a young player. So we're quite happy to have him into the team. So we're going to slowly bring him into the system, getting used to everything. Michael brings a lot of experience, obviously from overseas. You know, he's been played in those conditions, and he's a senior in the team now that brings all that calmness and leadership for us as well. So having him here gives us a little bit more inside info to playing overseas. As with this competition, you know, we're going to play a lot more up in Europe. So it's great additions for us having them part of the team.
Sorry, is he cleared to play in the Challenge Cup, Michael, and JC for that matter? Are they allowed to play in that competition?
I think they're cleared to play. I'm not sure if JC is registered yet, as he's only joined us yesterday. He joined us, yeah. So registration might not be in the first week, but once he's registered, Michael is registered. He played EPCR, and I think he can play URC for us, yeah.
All right, Ross, and then we'll wrap it up then with Carl.
Thanks, Shaniso. How's it, Manu? You know, you've had a pretty good season so far, and you've had a lot of game time. Have you quite enjoyed your season to date? Are you happy with the way you're playing? And looking forward to coming up against your brother this weekend. That's going to be an interesting one after playing in the same team for the last few years.
Yeah, for sure. Just to answer your question about my performance, I think I would say I'm happy, but I'm not content. I think it's one thing that the coaches also drive on their side, to never be content or complacent with your performance, and to just always strive to get better each week. So yeah, for me, my goal is always just come out each week, and however many minutes I get, I just make the most of it, and I'll obviously just play as hard as I can for my teammates. And then obviously with Vint coming up this weekend, yeah, for the past 2 years we got used to playing with each other. So now comes the time we have to play against each other. Yeah, we have spoken about it, and it is something that we are both excited to encounter. But then again, it is just a game. I know our families are quite excited as well. My brother, my mom, and my dad. Everyone's quite excited to watch the game. But yeah, I think I can speak for both of us. It's ultimately just another fixture. I'm going out there to represent the franchise and to just do my best as I have over the past couple of weeks.
Thank you, Ross. Carl, you've got the final one for the day.
Well,
For
that
this
was
session at least, yeah.
So if you want to give it to somebody else, I'm fine with that. Thanks a lot.
Vim, I see your hand is up.
I'll take it. My hand's been up for a while now.
Oh, Brendan, I thought your hand was still up from the first one. Okay, let's go. Let's go,
No,
Brendan.
I wanted to ask a follow-up, but anyway, don't worry. No,
Okay.
no, I'm done.
Let's
Albert, for
do
you
this.
guys, you
Yeah,
spoke.
Brendan, you'll go, and we'll close with Vim.
Okay.
Sorry, no, I think mine's a mistake. I didn't raise my hand.
Okay,
as it
Brendan, you'll
showed-
take us
as it
home then.
showed, it's raised with me.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Vim. Brendan, yeah.
Albert, just sorry, I know you talk about how you've experienced it in Japan before, but just on the psychological side, because I know how the rest of this country operates in December, and I know even us, I'm struggling to be motivated to write. It feels like the whole world's on holiday, but you're still working. Is there something psychologically that or do you bring in something different in the week, or is it just stick to the same things? Because surely, I mean, we're all feeling this time of year is probably where we should all be on the beach.
Yeah, it's like Manu said earlier, the main thing stays the main thing. So there's the couple of off days we're giving them extra with their family, but the rest stays the same. I don't think we're going to try and build a special program over this time of the year and trying to make it work for the players. As we go on over time, they'll get more accustomed to it. So we're trying to keep it the same as much as possible. The only exception is that we do give those extra off days to spend time with their families.
Right, guys, are we happy?
Just so can just follow up there. I just wanted to find out injuries. What's his name? Your center. His name slipped.
Enku.
Enku, yes. How's he doing?
Yeah, he's done well. We did some scans on him, so it's not as long as we thought it's going to be. So potentially you could have played this weekend strapping it up, but there's a bit of swelling, and I think it's not worth the risk as the season is still long. So we're going to look at next weekend, possibility of playing next weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brendan.
Thank you.
Albert, Manu, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Guys.
Up next, I've got JC Pretorius.
The man himself.
All right, guys. Emirates Lions new recruit. We announced him today. JC Pretorius. Let's take about 4 questions, guys, before we wrap up. Let me just allow a few people in. All right, we'll take Carl and then Ross for JC.
JC, firstly, welcome at the Lions. But a question we have to ask is, you were a superstar in Sevens rugby. There was no question of being selected, of not being selected. Now you turn to the 15-man code, where at the Emirates Lions, you've got Jaco Kriel and 1 or 2 other sixes that will definitely not give their places away without a big fight. And then the rest of South Africa, there is so many good loose forwards. Why did you do it?
Obviously, it's a massive honor and a privilege to be associated with the Lions, and especially they fit my running style of rugby. And yeah, a guy like Jaco and Manny that's playing 6 now as well. I said to myself, I won't rush anything coming into the system. And yeah, learning quite a lot from the guys, and especially a guy like Yaku, and that was a role model for me and is still a role model for me. So yeah, the guys has accepted me with open arms, and yeah, I'm happy to train with the team.
Thanks, Carl. Ross?
Thanks. How's it, JC? Obviously, you've come in at a very hectic time in two competitions now, the URC and the Challenge Cup. The Lions are going to be 6 weeks away, 2 obviously in South Africa, and then 4 on the road overseas. Do you think your traveling with the Blitzboks will sort of help you be prepared for that kind of hectic travel schedule? And are you sort of ready to be thrown straight into the fray, if they decide to do some rotation over the coming weeks, because it's going to be a pretty hectic 6-week period in a row?
Yeah, I would definitely say that the sevens helped me, especially with getting used to time zones as well. I mean, like a big difference for like New Zealand and Australia, it was 12 hours. So they helped us a lot about managing your work, your load sleep, and how you can climatize on the time zone. And yeah, I know there's a lot of rugby to be played, but firstly for me, it's just starting into the system and learning and adapting to everything, and then taking it from there.
Sorry, and then just a follow-up. I know that there are quite a few guys from the 7 system who have joined the 15s over the past few years. Are you in contact with any of those guys to maybe help you and give you a few hints and tips on getting into the 15s game again, like maybe Werner Kok at the Sharks and oaks like that?
Yeah, so I definitely chat with Barry's often, and especially Kwacha. He's also a role model for me, and I mean, what a better place to be. He was also at the Lions. He knows the ins and the outs in the system, so he can help me a lot with the system, and especially my role as 6th flank.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Any other questions before we close?
Yeah, just one for
Morgan,
me.
you'll take the final one.
That's okay. Was Walter?
Morgan and Walter. Oh, okay. Walter, let's
Walter can
let's
ask
go with
first, and I'll go
Walter.
later.
Yeah, JC, just from me, I wanted to know personally, what is it that you think you need to adapt to change your game from coming from 7s going to 15s?
Definitely for me, it's just learning the calls and adapting to the system, the defensive structure as well, and especially attacking. Because I know in attack, the loose forwards has a different role as a 7th guy. So yeah, that's the main job for me as well.
Thank you, Walter. Morgan, you can have the last one.
Yeah, thank you. My question was pretty similar. It's just what type of skills do you think you will be bringing to the Lions, and how do you apply your 7 skills to the system that they have set up?
Yeah, so started the training yesterday, and we had a session, and I was already in, and it felt like because of the awareness that you need to have in 7s, everything happens very slow in 15. So I'll definitely bring in a lot of vocals to the team, and chat on defense as well on attack, and it's definitely work ethic like Kwacha, and regarding poaching the ball and stuff like that, and just yeah.
All right, gents, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. The recording will follow shortly. Good
Thank you so
afternoon.
much.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Jason.
Thank you.
Thanks.